Nowadays, content creation presents something of a challenge for creators. Lots of different scenarios where you're going to record content means you often got to manage a lot of different gear to try and capture good quality audio in multiple different scenarios. You might need one type of microphone for a sit-down interview, another one for dynamic on-the-go vlogging when you're out in the world. You might have another microphone for voiceover, or you might have a shotgun style for live streaming and stuff like that. It can lead to a bunch of different workflows that can be a little bit of a pain because you got to juggle and swap a bunch of different equipment. Well, there is an option that you may want to consider. The folks over at Boya, B-O-Y-A, have created a system to try and address many of those different needs at a really affordable price point. And you're listening to it right now. This is the Boya Magic System. This wants to be more than just another microphone. Rather, it's a solution to this dilemma of all these different situations. This mic positions itself as a 4-in-1 device that transforms to fit your different creative needs. It tries to simplify your audio workflow by consolidating all the different needs into a single workflow, a single portable package. It helps to try and adapt instantly to all those diverse recording environments, whether it's a field interview, a studio session, a fast-paced run-and-gun shoot out in the world type situation. So what I thought I would do is I would try and demonstrate what this microphone does so that you can take a listen and see if you think it might be right for you. Now, right up front, I do want to say that Boya sent me this device so that I could make this review. But they're not going to see this video before you do. They don't have any say in what I'm about to say. And anyway, if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm not going to hype it by saying, oh, you got to get it or anything like that. I just want you to see how it works, and the device will speak for itself or not. I'm not here to convince you either way on whether to buy it or not. Cool? Okay. All right, so let's dig in. The Boya Magic System focuses on portability and tries to address many of those typical content creator workflows. It also includes an AI-based noise reduction system, 2 different levels. So if you are recording outside, or if you're recording in a studio that maybe isn't as well treated as my voiceover booth, the mic tries to help you with that. All right, so let's look at some of the different recording situations. First, as you can see it here, it can be just a wireless microphone on a microphone stand. I have this mounted to my regular mic stand, but there is also available as a separate little mini tripod that has a removable ball head so that you can use this on your desk and transform it to work on a camera. This ball head is removable from the tripod, so you can put it onto a mic stand. You can put it onto your camera if you need the additional hot shoe mount. You'll see that. But my first use case is you can position it the way I have it right here. This connects wirelessly to one of 2 different receivers. You can either use it as a receiver that can be connected to a camera, or you can have a receiver that goes right onto the back of the device, this little receiver here, that you can plug into your phone, or with the camera connection, you could plug it into something like your A10 Mini. But here's where this device really gets cool. What you're looking at here is not only a microphone as it is, but it's also the charging case and storage for 2 really kind of super small onboard lavalier type mics. So forgive the handling noise here, but inside there are 2 wireless lav mics that can be taken out. I'll take one out now. So inside the case, you're hearing both at the moment, so you probably get some comb filtering. But inside the mic case are 2 small lavalier style microphones that connect automatically to whichever receiver you have activated. One for the phone or one for the camera. It connects to one at a time, not both. If you use the phone receiver, you can plug this into your phone, and if you have a USB-C phone, this will get power from your phone. If you have an iPhone with Lightning, there's also a Lightning adapter that will have the same functionality. So this is available to connect to a phone, but there's also a separate one that allows you to connect it to a camera. So there is just an entirely separate receiver that you charge separately that allows you to connect it to your camera. Let's take a closer look inside this case here. Underneath, you see this clear cover with holes in it that allow the sound in when it's in handheld mode or in microphone mode. And if we open it up, we can see that there are 2 lav mics. These lav mics are held in magnetically, and they'll charge whenever they're placed in the housing. Each lav mic has a single button that is mimicked on the front of the handheld version. Clicking this button has its primary function is to either activate or deactivate the AI-based noise reduction mode. There's a little LED on all of the microphones that indicates which mode is the one that's active. Blue, which you're listening to for raw mode, and then if I click it once, it switches over to noise reduction mode. That's the green LED, and so you can hear it in noise reduction mode. This is a pretty well-treated studio, so it might not have too much of an effect, but you can easily switch between those 2 modes. The light will also turn red on the devices if it's being charged. I will say that these lavs are super small, super light, tons of technology packed into them. 7 grams, little tiny, very tiny amount of weight, about 1.5 centimeters, 13 millimeters for the overall size. So they're really small, really discreet. There is a clip on each lav, so you can clip it to your shirt, clip it to a collar, but then there's also, the clip itself is magnetic, and it comes with a magnet, so you can just put it right through a garment without clipping on. So if you're using a t-shirt, and we'll see this, you can have it just attached to the shirt. So let's see how it sounds with the microphone attached to the shirt. So we're outside. Really the noise that's around right now is just general outside noise. It's August, so there's locusts, cicadas in the air. You can hear some traffic from the street behind us. This is attached in the sort of typical position right on my shirt, attached with a magnet. Right now the AI mode is off, and the little dead mouse, or whatever you might call that, is not attached. So the first thing we'll do, we should also test if I introduce a little wind to the microphone, does it introduce any rustle? That I don't know. The first thing we'll try and do is we're going to press the button. That should turn on AI mode, and so we're going to listen to how the AI mode sounds. Now, in my experience with a little bit of testing, this is a very bright microphone. I actually think that the dead cat or the little dead mouse attachment might actually help attenuate some of the brightness that comes from the microphone. So I'm going to turn AI mode off, press the button once, and we're just going to click on the little dead mouse here. Is that the right word? I think I touched the button too. Turn it off. I think AI mode is off right now. The app is on the camera, so the app is on the phone, so I can't see what it is. So we'll just try. We'll hit the button a couple of different times. But now the little wind fuzzy is on, and that should hopefully reduce some of the high-end sibilance that I've seen with the microphone. Attenuate it just a little bit, and it is somewhat breezy. I'm feeling a breeze at the moment, so we'll see how that actually addresses the wind rumble that you would typically expect from a microphone. I can try and do a distance test. It's supposed to be good for about 100 meters, I think. I don't have 100 meters worth of space behind me, but let's just walk away. So I don't know, I'm facing away in another microphones. This has caused a problem with line of sight, my body actually breaking contact with the microphone. But now I've got the microphone set in a straight line, and we'll see if you can hear me the whole way. Also touch once to see if that switches the AI mode, just so that we can get a sense of how it sounds both ways. Let's now walk back to the microphone, walk back towards the camera, and we'll see how that sounds. We'll see if there's any dropouts. We'll see if there's any impact to the sound. But right now I'm about 10, 12 feet away from the microphone. And this is how it sounds with the mouse on there. That lightweight is also kind of important because sometimes when you have the bigger lav systems, your garment can sort of flop open if you have it attached to your shirt, especially a button down. It can make the shirt either slouch or wrinkle or flop open, which sometimes isn't the best look. Sometimes it just makes your appearance on camera not necessarily what you want. So something like that, something like the really small lav microphones, really lightweight, can help because it's not going to affect how your garment fits you. The lavs themselves, there is also supplied in the kit little furry windscreens. So if you are in a windy environment, you can still get clear audio by putting the furry microphones. They will increase the appearance of the device, that's for sure. The mic body itself also comes with a clown nose type pop filter, and it does have a furry pop filter. So if you are outside in a very windy situation, the microphone, the mic body itself also has that option. So another option is to use the microphone in handheld mode. So if you're going to do sort of person on the street interviews, you could use this microphone just as handheld, still wireless transmitting. There's a button on the device itself, on the charging case itself, that allows you to switch between modes. So right now the green LED is on. If we press it once, the LED changes to blue, and that will switch back and forth between the AI noise cancellation mode and the non-cancellation mode. So you get a chance to hear how they both sound. But this allows you to use the case itself, the charging case itself, as a microphone. There's a couple of different fuzzies. There's the foam filter. There's also sort of a dead cat style filter, but that will appear right here on the charging case. And the charging case itself holds the lav. You only need to have the top lav in place for this to work in this mode, but I have them both here, so you can see how this actually works. So the charging case itself becomes a microphone. I thought a cool thing that I could try is to use both lavs at once attached to a baseball cap to see if we could turn it into a binaural style recording. So you could actually hear what it is that I'm hearing on the microphone. So we have both lavs just sort of at ear level, not exactly binaural, but and it would closely replicate, I think, what I'm hearing. I did discover that as I was using this, there's the button on each lav, which can switch between the noise canceling and non-noise canceling mode. If you press one, click either microphone once, it will switch that noise cancellation between both microphones. So now we've switched to the different modes. We'll actually hear maybe what I'm hearing. Switch the modes. I hear traffic off to the side. So there's a road over there and we can hear some traffic. But this would be interesting if you wanted to create sort of a photo walk and actually do some walking around and just try and gather some ambient sound on video at the same time. Let's try that in a more controlled environment. So now we're indoors and we'll switch between the modes. So we can just try and get a sense of what we can hear. Now I'll switch modes. Switching modes, and we'll give the microphone a chance to switch modes, and now we'll try the same thing. So that's just an example of, could we use this as a binaural style microphone for gathering field recordings, anything like that, ambience for your videos or for your content creation. There's also an app that you can pair with the mic. So when you're in phone mode, there's what they call the Boya Central app. Let's take a look at that. So the microphones also come with a app called Boya Central that can control the microphones when it's attached to your phone. So right now I have this attached. I have the I have it attached to my phone with the little dongle, and let's just go through some of the settings. So the first thing that happens is you connect the receiver at the bottom, and that will bring up it will appear in the app. The connection is not Bluetooth, it's through the receiver. And here you can see on screen that there's the meter that shows that it's receiving from my voice. I can adjust how much output gain there is into the microphone, so I can adjust it. And there's meters here that show me how loud things are. I can turn noise cancellation on or off. So right now, noise cancellation is on. I can switch that off, and that will change the light on the microphone itself. And I'll turn it back on. There's two different levels of noise reduction through the app here. So there's the weak, which is what you're listening to right now. And then we can switch to the strong noise cancellation, minus 40 decibels of noise cancellation. Here, if I was using both microphones, I'd have the option to record in mono or in stereo, especially helpful when you're working with the lavs. And you can also, when you're recording in mono, you can switch on a safety track, and you can see how now the left channel has the full meter, potentially being too loud. And then the bottom one, the right channel, has what they call a safety track. So it's a little quieter. As I adjust the gain on the device, we can see that the meters are lower, including the safety track being lower. I also have the ability to mute the microphones from my phone here. So if I see anything, you can't hear anything when that's happening. There's also an EQ option for the microphone. So you've been listening with the low cut, 75 hertz and below are cut away. There is a low cut of 150 hertz. So if you're recording in a windy environment, you can low cut out 150 hertz, get rid of that wind noise. And then you can create a custom EQ. So the custom EQ allows you to adjust how the microphone performs. So if you don't want that brightness of the mic, if you find that it's too sibilant for you, you could take one of the higher bands and you could reduce it. And you can give it a name, and there are different EQ profiles that you can have with the microphone. So there's a lot of different options from within the app that allow you to configure it, to configure the whole device. So if you don't mind installing another app on your phone, it's something that you can consider. After recording that last section, I realized I had been saying all along that the phone dongle had to be plugged into the phone in order for those settings to take place. It turns out, and I discovered this after recording that section, it turns out that you can also connect the camera receiver into your phone with a USB-C cable or whatever the appropriate cable is for your phone. And it will, when you turn the microphone on, you can actually migrate all of the settings onto the camera receiver also. And what's handy is there are some camera presets. So in my case, I use a Sony a6400. You can actually load a profile onto the receiver so that the gain is set properly for your particular camera, so that they work together and you're not fiddling with a bunch of settings. Really handy, something I hadn't discovered earlier, but it's gratifying to know that those are all there and that you can just connect it to your phone and migrate those settings right over. So I wanted to make sure that I was clear with that with respect to the camera receivers. Where I think this device really sets itself apart is in the price. It's really considering all it does, it's a really affordable system. I think when I checked at the time I'm making this video, on Amazon, it's like $86 for the whole thing, under $100. And for all of that functionality, I think that's a pretty reasonable price. You can hear how the microphone sounds. You can either identify with you liking that sound or not liking that sound. But at this price, it certainly captures perfectly adequate sound. And it will cover lots of different situations where you don't necessarily have to buy a bunch of different microphones for a bunch of different situations. So it could be worth, if you foresee yourself doing all those different situations, it could be worth sort of investigating and evaluating if this is right. If you do think it's right for you, I will have an affiliate link down in the description. If you've made it this far, that affiliate link will be down there. So if you want to support the channel, support the work I do here, that would be beneficial. You don't have to. Also, if you found the video helpful, drop in a like, clicking that thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm understand that this video is helpful for for giving people information about the device. So if you did find it helpful, just click in that like button. That goes a long way towards helping surface this video for other people looking for this kind of device. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making it this far. I hope this helped. I hope it helped decide if this product might be right for you. I'm not going to tell you either way it's the greatest or the worst or anything like that. You can see how it sounds. You can see how it behaves. And yet you can decide if that's right for you. Now, go out there. Get yourself a microphone. If you're going to go out there and record, get yourself a microphone so you can get great audio. Maybe one that can Tetris itself into a bunch of different situations. But get yourself a microphone so that you can get out there and you can record something amazing. Thanks. We'll talk to you next time.